This is the car BMW doesn't want you to see next to its competition. The 2026 X6 M just landed, and it's already being called the most controversial SUV BMW has ever built. Not because it's slow. Not because it's ugly. But because of something buried deep in the spec sheet that BMW is hoping nobody notices until it's too late. Here's the thing about the X6 M, it's always been the car people love to hate. A coupe SUV with a twin-turbo V8, 4 doors, and a roofline that looks like it's trying to escape its own body. Critics called the original a mistake. BMW called it a statement. And somehow, over a decade later, it's still one of the best-selling performance SUVs on the planet. So for 2026, BMW didn't play it safe. Under the hood, you're looking at a reworked 4.4-liter twin-turbo V8, now paired with a beefed-up hybrid assist system pushing north of 740 horsepower. That's not a typo. 740 horsepower in a vehicle that weighs over 5,000 pounds. 0 to 60 comes in around 3.1 seconds. Let that sink in. This is a 2.5-ton SUV that can embarrass a Porsche 911 off the line. But here's where it gets interesting, and stick with me. Because by the end of this video, I'm going to show you the one-number BMW buried on page 47 of the press release that could completely change whether this car is actually worth your money. Let's talk design first, because BMW clearly heard the criticism and decided to lean into it even harder. The grille is bigger. The lighting signature is sharper, almost aggressive, like the car is permanently angry at the road ahead. The rear haunches are pumped up, giving it this crouched, ready-to-pounce stance that photos genuinely don't do justice. In person, this thing looks like it wants to fight your neighbor's Range Rover and win. Inside, BMW went full digital cockpit. A curved display stretching across the dash, updated xDrive software that finally feels intuitive instead of frustrating, and merino leather everywhere your hands could possibly touch. The M-specific seats hug you like they're trying to keep you from flying out during a corner, which, given this car's performance ceiling, is probably exactly the point. And speaking of corners, this is where BMW's engineers clearly obsessed. The X6 M gets an updated adaptive suspension system, active roll stabilization, and rear-wheel steering as standard. On paper, that shouldn't matter much for a car this heavy, but get it on a twisty road and something strange happens. It shrinks. The steering tightens up, the body control is almost unnervingly flat, and suddenly you forget you're driving something the size of a small apartment. It's a genuine engineering trick, and honestly, it's one of the most impressive things about this whole package. Now, quick pause, because if you're the kind of person who actually wants the real numbers behind these performance claims, and not just marketing fluff, that's exactly what this channel exists for. So if you haven't already, hit subscribe and drop a like right now, because we're about to get into the part of this car that BMW really doesn't want spreading around. Because here's the truth nobody's talking about yet. That insane horsepower figure, that 3-second sprint time, it all comes at a cost that goes way beyond the price tag. Real-world fuel economy on the new X6 M is reportedly dipping into the low teens in mixed driving. In a world where every other manufacturer is racing toward efficiency, BMW just built a rolling contradiction. A hybrid system that's there for punch, not for saving gas. And then there's the price. Base MSRP is expected to land north of $135,000. Fully loaded with the carbon package, the upgraded brakes, and BMW's individual customization options. You're realistically looking at a car that can crack $160,000 before you've even left the dealership lot. Here's that number I promised you. Buried in BMW's own internal testing documents is a curb weight figure that's nearly 200 pounds heavier than the outgoing model. Almost all of that added weight comes from the new hybrid battery pack, which means despite everything BMW has done to make this car sharper, faster, and more capable, physics is still physics. This will be a heavy car pretending to be light, a contradiction wrapped in carbon fiber and merino leather. And that, more than the horsepower, more than the styling, more than the price, is the real story of the 2026 X6 M. It's not a mistake anymore. It's a masterclass in making something that shouldn't work anyway.